Hello, welcome to another episode of Meet the Manager. Joined by a new member today, and I will let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey,
Can
I'm
you tell us your
Johnny.
name and your handle?
Hey, I'm Johnny, and that's my name.
Yep. So kind of a funny story. I usually start the seasons by just hitting find a club, and then if the team's kind of similar in rating, I a lot of times will run repeated matchups against that club, try and tweak things, and use like one concentrated team to test against. So I have kind of a controlled variable. And so I ran a bunch against one of your clubs, and you messaged me on Discord, and I saw the message pop up, and I was like, oh, like if I made him mad or, and we started chatting, and then I want to say like an hour later we ended up in the same cup group. And then earlier this week I was practicing for knockout stages of a cup. Went on to MFL Coach, plugged in the parameters, gave me a team, plugged it in, pulled it up, and it was another one of your teams. So I was kind of laughing at the coincidence that we just keep meeting. But we've been chatting a lot on Discord. I'm excited to have you on and talk with you face to face.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah. So one of the questions I love to ask is just kind of where you're from.
Yeah, from Canada in the GTA, which
Awesome.
is the Greater Toronto area for people.
Okay. I didn't know GTA, and I was like, do I ask and
Yeah.
potentially look stupid, or do I just
Yeah,
move
yeah.
on? So
Yeah, so
I appreciate
easy
you clarifying because, cool. So do you have a favorite sports team? Are you a Canadian sports team or?
Leafs, Toronto Maple hockey,
Gotcha. Okay.
which is kind of funny because I don't know anything about, soccer, football. I don't know anything about it.
You know, I think that's really interesting and really cool. I hope I'm not wrong, but watching Ron John and Trust the Process, I got the
Yeah.
impression that Ron John doesn't have a huge background with football, soccer, and I think that he had kind of played FIFA and had kind of a baseline, and then just got into the game and loved the game. So it's cool to see like there's people that aren't football people.
Yeah.
That are just like, no, the game's good. Like I like the game and I can figure it out. It's not overly complicated, but there's complexity to it. And yeah, that's awesome. Do you follow any of the MLS teams up there? Any of the EPL teams?
No, nothing. I follow sports, but not like I do follow all sports, but just I don't know, soccer. I never really got into. Like I played as a kid, but just never. It's very popular here now, though. Like you have the Toronto FC, it's very popular.
Yeah, it's growing for sure. I was the same way growing up. I stumbled into it from COVID. The soccer was the first thing to come back, and so stumbled into it. And I've been kind of hooked and love MFL, love the game. So yeah, that's awesome. The classic meetup question, a little bit of a different take, being in Canada. But do you have a strong opinion in terms of if we do a North America meetup, where you would say we should all meet?
Then that'll be in Toronto.
In Toronto, yeah.
Yeah.
Toronto would be a fun one. I know a little bit about it. Do you guys have World Cup matches?
We are. Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, Toronto and Vancouver will be next year. Yeah, but we don't know who. Like, we don't know. Who's playing here or not. We just did a lottery to try to get tickets. But,
awesome.
So we probably won't get like the best teams, maybe the best countries. Who knows?
You never know. And there's two different like schools of thought. I feel like if you get like a Spain versus Luxembourg, getting to see Spain would be great. But then there's always the possibility that they rotate stars and you don't get to see Lamine Yamal. And then the flip side of it is two like equally paired, less enticing teams. I'm thinking of maybe like Panama and maybe like Peru.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, this should be a good even battle, but I don't really know any of the stars from Panama or Peru. So if you talk about initial cup matches, I think particularly going into the larger format, I think you're going to kind of get one of those two where you'll have a good even match or you'll get to see a star. But you probably will not get to see stars on both sides. So you got to pick and choose.
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing about Toronto. I mean, it's very diverse, so it'll be full with, fans.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that'll be fun. Toronto would be a great shout. And you guys have a pretty sizable international airport as well, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to add that to the list. Somebody's got to actually make it happen. I talk about it every week. It's one of my favorite things to talk about, but somebody's got to pull the trigger. So, if you will, another question is can you just kind of tell us your MFL origin story, how you found MFL, and how'd you get into the game?
Yeah. So I think a lot of people. I was in NBA Top Shot, and I was there pretty early. And honestly, I don't. I was trying to remember how I even found MFL. Maybe it was just like a dapper, maybe tweeted something or someone posted something quickly. I honestly have no idea where I found it. So just let me there. And then I don't know. It sounds fun, like a cool game that you could. I tried this other game. It's called Meta Soccer. I can't remember what it was. This is another Web 3 game, but pretty much died. It wasn't as in depth. So I found this. I opened like 2 packs. I was just looking at my agency right now, and I still own those players from like 2022. When I was thinking about Top Shot, I was like, where's Top Shot going? And honestly, they're just printing cards, right? There's no use. He said I had also the cool cat. I don't know if you're familiar with Top Shot. I had the cool cats. To have this cool cat, like image the pictures of all your 30 cards you had. It's like a special group.
Yeah.
They mentioned they're gonna do this fantasy thing, and then nothing really came of it. So I was like, nothing's happening. So I saw MFL, and I was like, oh, this looks actual fun. So I just sold pretty much. I was the right time at least. I sold pretty much everything and just started buying into MFL.
It's nice to be able to move at the right time, whether it's for something you saw or just blind luck. It's nice to be able to look back and be like, I'm glad I made that decision then. I've done the terrible idea of looking back on players that I've sold to check and see if any of them have turned into progression monsters. And there's been a few times that I'm like, man, I'm glad I sold then. I didn't have some great vision, but I just wanted a different position or wanted to upgrade and had cash.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
It seems like there's quite a few people that have come over from Top Shot.
Yeah.
And I've wondered if they've just seen the logo in Dapper and said, what's that? I think Obi-Wan Novinsky was one of the people as well that came over from Top Shot and didn't have the foresight to ask him, but that's awesome. So as I'm pulling up your agency, one of the questions as well that I love to ask, because it's so irrational but so true, is do you have a favorite player?
Yeah, my top guy, Artson. He's one of my first. I got him in 2023 at 20 years old. He's a love-hate relationship because he had a like 91 striker, but he did not. He progressed maybe. I think I got him. He was like 81 or 82. So I think he's like +3 overall in like 7 seasons. So he's pretty quiet, but he could shoot the ball. So right now he's not. He's on a silver team. I loaned him out this season. Want to progress. So him and my goalie both hit legendary this season. So that's good. And that was another one. Sorry.
Go ahead.
So it's the same with this guy. He was, I think he started at 79. So he's pretty decent, but not like, crazy, but steady.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no. Sorry, I bought that guy. There you go. I bought him.
Howie. There's
Yeah. 2020, 2023. Yeah. So I was buying them in 2023.
That's awesome. And then Perth.
Yeah.
Have you had any big, we can check. I was going to say, have you had any big progression monsters?
Yeah. Well, actually, one more thing I'll say. Last season I sold 3 legendaries that just, I think one L left wing back and one CB. I sold them to, I think I sold the left wing back to Sid actually. And I sold a couple players last season, put it that way.
Nice. Okay.
Just to reinvest. But yeah, my number one player is Lee Duke there. But he's tapered off now. Like he did a great run, but this season he didn't do anything. Season. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how
it's been steady like he did, and then
they'll go through runs and then just stop. And I guess you have to stop somewhere, but you kind of get that expectation as the manager that they're just going to go to the moon.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a funny story. I actually loaned this guy to another player in my league, in my bronze league, and he's first. So
okay. Mixed emotions on that because you get a chunk of the MFL, but it does kind of hurt to help your competition.
Yeah, exactly.
But interested. Did you know he was going to be in your group when you loaned him out?
I thought after the fact, like we were chatting, and he was like, "I want this guy," and I was like, "Okay." And then I say, "Oh, wait a minute, you're in my group." I was like, "Okay, you know what? It's all right. I'm not going to use him too much because I switched my formation this season, so I wasn't going to use him."
Yeah. So let's get into that.
Yeah.
You were running, correct me if I'm wrong, you're running 4-2-2 across all of your teams, correct?
Yes. Yeah. And I don't know if you have experience with other people if they do that with different, like with all their clubs, they do different tactics, but I just do it just so it's easier for me to manage. I know exactly what I need to do and what I need to set up.
Yep. So are you kind of following a lot of the same learnings and a lot of the same tactics across the teams?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, exactly. Same tactic, same formation, same team tactics, but individually, I have set up individual everything for the players separately,
gotcha. Gotcha.
depending on.
Okay. Are you heavy on individual? Like, are you touching five, six different categories of sliders on the individual, or are you just kind of one and two?
Kind of like that, yeah. I mean, so for example, if my striker, I'll just say my cam, if he has good passing, then I'll put, risky passing, maybe some crossing, um,
Yep.
more offensive. So maybe, yeah, it's like four to maybe 3 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I 2 seasons ago, maybe three, I was crazy with all my players,
Yeah.
and I was not doing well. And chatting with a couple people, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Well, send me what you're running," and
Yeah.
they're like, "You're way too complicated." And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm confused. Your player can only be confused. Um, but there seems to be more flexibility and openness in tactics this year, I
Hmm.
think. So yeah, I was curious on how complicated you're getting or how detailed you're getting with each individual player.
Yeah, it's a funny
So
story actually. Last season, when I was running 4-4-3 defense, um, first half actually was just about, like I didn't actually do too much individual. And actually, when I did play with it, that's when I started losing. So it's up in there. So
I certainly have had times that I've gone on like a bit of a losing streak or a bit of a dry spell, and I've tried to go back because I tinker. I feel like I tinker little bits and pieces
hmm.
every game, um, and so I'll try and go back and be like, wait, where were we when things were going right? And then try and reset. I know everyone has kind of a different
Yeah,
path to a reset button, but that's
yeah,
funny.
it's tough because I mean, I know you do it a lot. You do a lot of friendlies. I do a lot of friendlies, and yeah, I mean, and then when that game comes, you lose, fine. But that could be one out of two. You have 2 losses out of 10, for example. But just that time you lost, so it just happens. As long as your other stats seem okay, just kind of ball luck.
Yep, yep. So that was one of the questions I asked you last week or a couple days ago,
Mhm.
because I knew I was playing 4-2-2, and I knew that you ran it a lot and had a lot of familiarity with it. And I had my answer, and I was like, I wonder if I'm just wrong. And I asked, I said, what did you find to be the most difficult? What formation seems to be the most difficult? Um, and I was on the right path. So
Yeah.
I'll tease it a little bit. Go find my cup games if you wanna find where I played against the 4-2-2. You can also check MFL Coach. I thought MFL Coach led me to the right direction, but
Yeah.
so yeah, it's been a good formation this year. When did you make the decision to run 4-2-2 across the board?
Just last season. I mean,
Okay,
I ran the 4-4-3 defense, and I noticed. I mean, I was winning the first half of the season, but I think it was just luck because like my XG, my shots, everything was even possession maybe was like even, and my everything else was like below my competition. So I'm like,
yeah,
this is just I'm just getting lucky right now. Um, and I had good players too. Like I had Per in that bronze league actually, and he was doing well. And so it's just because I have better stats. So I just wanted to try something different. Yeah, and I remember what's it, Lurker. Lurker had 4-2-2 in my league, and he was
okay,
just, I mean, he had better players too, but he was just crushing everybody. So I was
yeah,
like, let me try. And my other thing too, I also want to try. I did controlled for 4-4-3 defense, but I also want to keep doing controlled. So I felt like having the 4-2-2, having a little more possession will be a little bit better if they're closer together.
yep. There's some balances this year. I feel like the kind of meta tactic historically has been to go direct. And I've heard
Yeah,
more people this year saying that they're mixing a little bit. And as I think everyone who's played the game this year realizes, that through ball pass that leads the
yeah,
striker in on goal has been the key, right? The key to winning or the key to losing. If you can stop it, you can be successful. And if you can create it, you can be successful. And one of the interesting things about that is I've heard some people talk about trying not to give their opponent those situations. And some people saying that they're running controlled so that they're not giving their opponent chances to
mm,
make those long passes,
yeah.
which is a really interesting solution. And you've been doing kind of the same thing, and you've said you've had success with some controlled elements.
Yeah, definitely. But they still get the through pass no matter how many times, even low. Like I did low, I did tight block. Like it was going through. I was like, it doesn't make sense. And so I just like, forget it. Let me just try to score as well. Like I don't need to play defense, let's play offense. So that's when I just said, forget it. I just started moving up my depth up a little higher, and my block is still a little tight, but I was having a
Yeah,
little more success.
yeah. The super meta tactic is you're not going to be able to stop that completely. You just have
No,
to slow
exactly.
it down.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
And I
I think
test a lot.
yeah. I see your name popping up a lot. I think it was less of a coincidence when I was looking
Yeah.
for a team to match, because I think I pulled it from a recent friendlies under the parameters. So less coincidence. But
Yeah.
do you find yourself tinkering? So like when you run friendlies and you kind of feel like, oh, this seems to be working. Do you then run friendlies with the other teams to make sure that like, oh, it works across the board? Or are you just kind of copy and pasting with down your line?
Oh, you mean for my team? My teams, you
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, so I do copy. Like, so my main team, like, I mean, even though it's not my main, my stone teams, Hague, like, they're one of my strong teams because they have really good cams there, and Fez,
Yeah.
and those guys are the ones I mainly do my testing with. And that's just because I talked to another guy named, I don't know if you ever saw him, he's Dama Click. He
Okay.
runs 4-4-3 defense. His team is Stockholm Meta something. Anyway, so I was
Okay.
chatting with him a lot. So I was doing a lot of testing against him because he kept crushing me every time. I was like, why the heck this guy threw balls every time? It doesn't make sense. So I was these two teams to test, and once I kind of got close enough with the stats I want, then I would test to other formations. Like I
Okay.
kind of look at I go to homepage and I see who's tested right now, and I kind of grab one that has a similar OVR.
Gotcha. Yep. That makes sense. Um, yeah. And your two stone teams have both done pretty well throughout the year, correct?
Yes, yeah, they have. Although, yeah, they're doing okay. Hague is still one of my stronger teams. Hague and Graz actually won the cups last year, but this
Okay.
year everyone's out.
And I
Yeah,
knew that you were still in the cup. We were in the same cup knockout stage.
yeah.
I got knocked out on Tuesday. So, but how did Haig make out today?
I got crushed.
Oh,
Got crushed, yeah. Because I got a red card. Well, I mean, two yellow cards by 72nd minute. And then we both scored, and then when extra time, he scored quickly 3 goals. But his strikers were very strong compared to
yeah.
who I put. Yeah, that right there. His strikers were pretty. His pace is very strong, so it's very hard to. And then it's 4-3-3. It's not 4-3-3 defense, but like he had a advantage for sure, and all the
Interesting.
stats. Yeah, 87 pace, 84 shooting. The other guys, that was okay, but the other right wing was pretty fast.
Yeah,
85.
that's tough. Pace
Yeah.
has been really difficult to deal with
Yeah.
this year.
So and you look at that. Look at that XG. I never had a game like that.
Oh man, 33 shots.
Yeah, that's
You
just like I don't know what happened there.
man, you did great to get into stoppage time
Yeah,
down a
yeah,
player.
I thought so. I thought Han. If you go to Han right there, or the Cam 74 Cam, he has a 90 dribbling, but he couldn't dribble too well. Like he just wasn't. I mean, actually his match rating is pretty good actually. He just couldn't carry the team. Oh, no, 6. Never mind. He went back
I
down.
wonder
Yeah.
if it dropped off as
Yeah.
the goal came flying
Yeah,
in.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
um, red cards have been
Yeah.
so impactful in terms of outcomes this year, and I think I like it. I think you want to see that happen, right? If a guy goes down to 10 men, like a team
Yeah.
goes down to 10 men, like you want to see that impact the score. The thing that's tough is like when it happens to you, particularly in a
Yeah.
cup game, and you're like, "Oh, I lost. It's not my
Yeah,
fault."
exactly. Exactly.
But
Yeah. But
um,
although speaking of that, throughout the season, every time the other team got a red card, they would beat me or draw. Like they would score a goal, tie me, and then they just score again. Like I don't think I won a game that the other team has got a red card.
that's really interesting.
So I was actually
Okay.
happy. I was like, oh, I got a red card. I'm gonna win.
uh, that's interesting. My experience has been much different. If
No.
I've gotten red cards, it's been consistent. If I've gotten a
Yeah.
red card, I've lost. If I've had one
Yeah.
against, I've had pretty good
You won.
success.
Okay. Yeah. So I
Um,
don't know.
but I don't know how much I've had it during actual league matches. I've had it
No.
happen quite
Yeah.
a few times during friendlies,
Right.
and mentally I just throw that game out, good or bad. I'm just kind of like, there's not a lot to take from this because it's hard to evaluate a 10 versus 11.
Yeah.
The
Exactly.
exception to that is if you're seeing one particular thing work a lot. Crosses are working a lot, or dribbling the one-on-ones is working a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
interesting. So you've loaned quite a few players out. Have you had to loan in to tailor to the 4-2-2 this year?
No. I bought a bunch of players to do it because I felt last season I kept majority of my players, and I did run, two formations. I did run the 4-4-3 defense and as my backup, and my 4-2-2 was my main. But I found I wanted to kind of get a little more MFL and a little more training, so I decided I'll just stick to one and then see what happens. I only have one team that's close to relegation, which is Graz, which is having some bad luck there. But otherwise, I mean, I think it's been an okay season.
Yeah, no, I mean, just one opinion, but I think you've been really strong, really difficult. I felt like I prepped pretty strong and put out a really strong lineup against you in our first Cup group stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you beat me, and I was kind of annoyed. I was like, man, I felt like I put my best foot forward and still lost. And then, ironically, our next match,
you got to pull that up.
Yeah, for sure. I knew I was through in the group, and I knew you were through on the group as well. So if the other spots were still up for grabs, I would have been hesitant to throw a match. Trust the process is like, I'm not throwing, I'm trying to win. I'm just not, but I rotated extremely heavily.
Yeah.
Knowing the game is not going to impact knockout stages. My cost will be the group stage win of the MFL, but I think yes, I think that the resting of the players will allow me to push up a spot on the table, which is more than the MFL for the group stage. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. That was my decision. And so I knew I was going to heavily rotate. I'm like, that's fine. I'll lose the game, but the benefit will be the rotation. And if you're cheating, you can see it's a 1-1 draw here. And the irony in this game is that we drew despite me running a 21 rated right wing, a 31 rated right back, and then a 51 rated striker. And the only player of those three that's in position is the striker.
Look at that XG there.
Yeah, I mean, that was the other thing, right? Like, so if I smash and grab and we draw 1-1, it's like, well, lucky outcome. But I actually had pretty strong stats. Or even if you're just kind of looking at shots and shots on target as the barometer and throwing out XG, I still was a little bit ahead. So
exactly.
Very peculiar. I know that variance is a big part of the game. And the midseason update was fantastic and broke down a lot. And I love that the dev team kind of talks about the data, but also their vision and expectation. Because it's nice to know, like, hey, if a season is gone haywire and it's not what they're looking for, it's nice to get that feedback and say, okay, this isn't the vision, they're going to work to get it back. Or the flip side, if you feel like I don't like the way that this season came, like I don't like the way the season played out, and the dev team is like, hey, this is exactly what we want, we're trying to keep it exactly like this, at least you have the decision power to say, okay, this isn't what I want. This probably isn't the game for me because I'm unhappy and they're happy. They're going to keep it this way. I'm just going to continue to be unhappy. So those mid-season dev updates to me are so valuable.
Team's very transparent. It's good. They're keep updating stuff, so it's very good.
Yeah. Did you have the chance to watch this game live, or did you watch this back?
I watched it after the fact, but I did follow, like a couple days ago. I did look at 2D, and I did notice your players just just low, just like hanging out. They weren't like pressuring, but I wasn't sure why my players were not doing what they're supposed to do. But I did notice my tactics were. I didn't update my tactics for a couple of players, so they were doing things they shouldn't have. But I mean, whatever. Having said that, there were two other games that my OBR was over 100 higher than my opponent, and we drew as well. So I was not too surprised, I guess.
Are those live games, or were those friendlies?
Live in my it was my Graz Lions team, and and it happens, but
it does.
Yeah,
I have felt personally like that number has been higher this year.
Right.
And the mid-season dev update said it hasn't. It's been controlled and it's been where it is.
Okay.
Which helped calm me down a little bit because I've been annoyed at some of those bad outcomes.
Yeah.
And you wonder in the back of your head, is this just one of those 1 in 30 games, or do my tactics stink?
Yeah, exactly.
To your point, sometimes you can see something, right?
Yeah,
You think, oh, my team's better, and then you lose, and you watch them fire 3 balls down the right channel to a right wing back that has 90 pace and 90 shooting, and you're
yeah,
like, yeah, that
yeah,
impacts the game. So I
exactly.
get it.
Yeah,
But gosh, interesting outcome. This I'm glad that this game didn't really have a large impact. We both got into the group stage. We knew that
yeah,
going into it. This was game 6,
yeah,
but
definitely. In
it's
the off
still
season, we got to do it again. Off season, we got to do the exact same thing. Set your team up, and
yeah.
I'll do friendlies against it. And we'll see.
Yeah, I got to figure out if we can do that. So all 3 players are Laird's players.
Oh, okay.
And he, on one of his streams kind of early in the year, was like, hey, if anyone has a spot, to just training to just get training XP.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran my stone team quite thin this year. I don't have the roster I loaned guys in. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go as thin as possible, try and get as much MFL. And I had a pretty good rotation plan in my head to run through. And someone was like, yeah, I have extra spots. I'm like, they're not going to play. And he was like, doesn't matter. Training XP is better than no XP.
Yeah.
And they played and drew. So very funny outcome here. And then obviously we both ended up in the knockouts. I lost Tuesday, you lost today. I was hoping that we would meet in the finals.
Yeah,
I would not have given you the same rematch if we met in the finals, but yeah, maybe I'll buy those guys off Laird so we can run the test again. We'll see. But awesome. Let me see. So you have started to look ahead to next season, correct?
Yes, yeah. As soon as they released that, and that actually helped me. Sorry if you interrupt. They did the heat map, so I actually changed a couple of things after running a few friendlies in the new engine.
I have asked. I don't think I deserve credit, so I'm not trying to take it. But I've asked for shot maps. I really wanted shot maps last year. I think there were a lot of people that were kind of noticing the log shot success, and I was annoyed. Some people may have been. I know, like talking with Bob Flynn, he was like, "You just adapt." He was like, "The game just is the game, and you just adapt." And he was very neutral to it. And I'm like, "That's a great point."
Yeah, for sure, exactly.
But long shots were extremely successful, and I kind of wanted to see like the long shots. It's quick to see the XG, and XG was a really rough measurement last year because the long shots were going in with the low XG, but they had a high success rate.
Exactly.
This year, I've seen the through ball puts a striker in 1-on-1, the goalkeeper comes out, and those are getting converted a high percent of the time, as they should. Depending on how close the striker gets to the goal, the XG may still stay relatively low. So if you're not watching the game, that can be a little bit misleading. If you see like a 0.8 XG with 5 shots on target and you score 4 goals, and you're like, how lucky is that person? And you're like, not lucky at all. They were 1-on-1 with your goalkeeper 5 times. They scored 4 of them. Like, you would expect that. So that's a bit interesting. I have not put as much value on XG this season because there have been so many of those that are impacting the goals, but not reflecting, for me at least, as evenly on the XG. I saw one yesterday that the striker had a 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. The striker was out past the penalty area. The striker was on the edge of the box and just flipped the ball in, and it was a 0.19. I remembered it for some reason. And I'm like, that's a goal. If you're watching in real life, like you're counting on your striker to finish that.
For sure.
So interesting. And that's where some of the strong managers have kind of learned the system. They've figured out through balls or managing it or what can I do. And you mentioned running a higher line, and I have not done that. I've seen teams that are having success run a high line, and I think it has success this year. I've just been afraid to do it. So
it's not too high. I'm not above the halfway mark.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I think
higher as normal.
Yeah, that's one thing that I think Sid did really well, or has done really well, is just remove biases, right? Like, he's like, no, it's working this year, so I'm just going to do it. And I'm like, man, I'm afraid. Like, what if we get burned 10 times? But so what else are your takeaways from the experimental engine? Have you seen anything else that you kind of feel like you're leaning into for next year?
I was doing, so like I said, just the heat map. So some of my players, I actually did a little more freedom, because I noticed when I did a couple of them on low, they pretty much didn't. It was too tight. Like where they're moving, they weren't moving a little more freedom. So I changed it to high, and I didn't actually change much else. But I do, actually I did increase the passing a little bit, um, balancing the long shots and short shots. And I do notice, so I did notice the physical a little bit. Like I did give up a little less through balls, so
Yeah.
that's positive. But yeah, that's the only real change, I guess. They didn't change much else so far, so we'll see.
Yeah. How much of your plan for next year is based on experimental friendlies versus first week of the confirmed engine?
Good question. I feel like they don't change too many things. So it depends. So yeah, I will, do friendly, then see how it reacts, and then I could set my lines up based on that. Because I do have enough agency to switch up my formations. So I pretty much try different ones and see which one would work the best.
As of right now, do you think you're married to the 4-2-2 going into next year? Or do you think you'll
Yeah,
see
it's
some
funny. Yeah,
variety?
yeah. No, I don't know. Like I just think like why switch, or there's so many different formations. When I
Yeah.
first started, I was doing the 1-4-5 actually with my Pioneers team, and it did well. But then I just switched to the 4-4-3 defense, and now 4-2-2, and I don't know a reason why I would switch, even though I could have a little weakness down the middle. But I feel like I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know what I'm gonna do not season.
Yeah. I I typically try and plan out. I'll plan out based on the players that I have. Um, I'm not smart enough to get a good meta read fast
Yeah,
enough, get ahead of the
yeah.
curve, and then I typically will try and figure it out. I talk with Kev a lot. Kev's been able to kind of share
Hmm.
some good reads, and then I'll try and tinker and figure out what works for my side or what I'm seeing and go from there. But man, too often I feel like he's like giving me the starting point, helping me get focused. Um, yeah, and I think it's really interesting the difference in style and opinion, where we
Yeah,
have somebody like I think Lurker runs 4-2-2 across a bunch of teams.
yeah,
Um, I know Ronan is like famous for the 4-1-2 and 2 narrow. Um, Although he switched a little bit this year as he's tinkered with the engine. But there's a lot of managers that are like, I like this formation. I can make it a little better. Every year, I'm starting so far ahead by having a familiar formation in familiar places for
yeah,
familiar players in this engine. Um, and I don't know, for some reason, I switch all the time. I switch from game to game, and
yeah. You do.
um, I think I can extract some benefit from that, but I also feel like I sometimes am playing the game on hard mode because I have to learn four different, starting formations, and then there's how it pivots into the other team. So very interesting.
Yeah, I probably will keep running it until all my teams get like destroyed every game.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's when you know to pivot.
Yes.
So when you said you sold a couple players coming into this season to
Yeah,
try and tailor the formation, had you made your mind up that time to go 4-2-2 across the board?
yeah, I did. So I sold them, and then I bought some more clubs and bought more players. So actually, to be honest, I actually bought like for 4-4-3 defense players. Like I bought a lot of CMs, and then later on, I said, let me go back, let me try the 4-2-2, and then that's when I bought cams and CDMs. Plus
Gotcha.
my agency,
Okay.
like I'm not sure how many I loaned out, but I did loan out a bunch of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
With you. Okay.
all the
So
ones
you
that.
would have had wingers. Did you get rid
Yeah,
of
I
all
have
your
wingers.
wingers?
Yeah, I have a lot. I have wingers. I have both. I have I have wingers. I have no wing backs, but I have like a lot of wingers and a lot of CMs.
Yeah, you have quite a few.
Yeah,
Although some of them can play striker, some of them can play
yeah,
cam,
yeah.
so it's not
That's
completely
one thing I
wasted.
do too. I try to buy players that can play multiple positions.
Yeah, that's so valuable. That might be the next kind of price curve.
Yeah.
Uh, and I know it's happened to a certain extent already, where the multiple position players have a bit of a premium.
Hmm.
Um, And I think Trust and I talked a bit about this. If we start introducing injuries, multi position becomes even more critical, um, to where you can just flex in, even if they're a little bit out of position. If you can flex a left mid into a cam spot when your cam gets injured for 3 games, um,
Yeah.
and change shape, or if you're somebody that changes formations all the time, those formation flexibilities allow you to go from like 4-1-2 too narrow to like a 4-3-3.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Um, yeah, and I'm trying to go through and see. Yeah, you've quite a few loaned out. I think this one's loaned out.
That's the one I was saying. Yeah, he's in my division.
Um,
But yeah,
this one I think I don't recognize
yeah,
that team one for
yeah,
you.
yeah. Those one. Yeah,
So
nice one there. Yeah,
quite a few in use, quite a
yeah.
few part of your team.
Hmm.
So do you track your expected earnings throughout the season?
Just for like after like the cup start, I did check on that Metapixel lab, plug in there, and
Yeah.
then see, and then so it looks pretty what I'm gonna get for the end of the season. In the past, actually, the past few seasons, I mean, I kind of took a break actually at the beginning of the year, so I didn't pay too much attention. But before that, I would buy rare packs like the 47,000. I just buy like one player.
Okay.
I got I got Pearson and then some other good players. But then I was like, I want to spread out a little bit more, so I would start getting the uncommon packs and then pretty much loan them out or use the players if I need them, just to get a little more potential progression, a little more potential MFL. Yeah, yeah, I would buy
Um,
the 47,000 one sometimes and the 10,000.
yeah. This is a question I'm asking myself now for myself. Is kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, where do I go? And it will depend on. I'm counting my chickens before they hatch, and I'm hating myself for doing it because I know 2 losses on my stone team, and I lose a couple thousand MFL, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
be like,
yeah,
shoot, now I can't afford it. Um,
yeah.
so I'm letting myself get excited, which I know is gonna bite me, but I'm doing the same thing, trying to track my MFL. But the other side of that question is, so will you sell the pack? Will you open the pack and sell the player? Because if you're running such a particular formation, if you have left wing, if you get a left wing only, you won't be able to use them in a 4-2-2, for example.
Yeah.
So are you opening pack, and then if you get somebody out of position, loaning, or how do you kind of navigate the gallery management from there?
I like to open the packs. I like the surprise of failure or happiness. I do buy the packs as well, like the from the
The drops.
yeah, the drops. And, so I buy those, even though I don't need players. I just buy them, and yeah, I don't sell them. I just loan them out, get more MFL, and just keep kind of growing the agency. Because I mean, at the end of the day, um, the game has up and down. Is gonna people get upset? I mean, price goes down, people are upset. Price goes up, people are happy,
Yeah.
upset. Who knows, right?
Yep.
Um, the team keeps updating everything. They keep they add little things, like even they added the flags on your tactics there, which is cool. It's not like a huge thing, but it's cool they do little things. And
Yeah.
honestly, like people come and go, but I think it'll be all right in the future.
For sure. For sure. The infrastructure is really strong.
Yeah,
There's been kind of a lot of different discussion about the ebbs and flows. And it's funny because I think a lot of the people that are the people that are complaining about it, I think are people that have joined during the boom, the most recent
yeah,
boom.
right.
Depending on who you listen to, it's either the layered boom or the net boom. But
Yeah, yeah,
that joined then and joined on the front tilt, they have not really seen a life cycle, a full life cycle. And it's the sky is falling. And it's
yeah,
interesting because throughout that boom, I think both of those two people were talking about the game's fun. The game's fun. Play the
yeah,
game because it's fun. It's not an investment. It's not an ROI. This is not financial advice. The
yeah,
game's
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
And we still sit here with people saying, I've lost money. It's like it was always supposed to be a fun game. But to your point, the infrastructure is fantastic. The game is still fun. It has not stopped being fun. So it's a little bit funny to hear kind of some of those complaints. And then there's people on the other side that are like, I'm getting deals, deals, deals. Like players are low. I'm loving it. I'm grabbing more teams.
yeah.
Um, so opportunity on the other side of it. And if we go through another big boom, another big wave, um, those people are going to be thriving, and the people that jumped off are going to be kicking themselves. So it'll be fun to
Definitely.
see.
Yeah, I just bought another team actually a couple weeks ago during the mid-season, and also bought a couple players as well. I mean, yeah, prices have dropped a little bit, but then again, I mean that's normal. That's the market. Like, you can't have up only, then no one's gonna play.
Yeah,
You're just gonna.
yeah, for sure. So when you loan guys out, how tight are you? Are you kind of just picking highest reward? Are you looking at the teams? Are you talking to managers on Discord? Kind of how are you
Yeah,
managing
exactly.
that?
So a lot of the managers have messaged me, and then I want to loan this guy, and then I do check their team. If there's like one player on the team, I'm like, what's your plan here? Like you have one player, I'm not gonna join right away. But then I
Yeah,
also check the history, like how they managed last season. If they're doing
yeah,
top six, it's fine. You're gonna keep working hard and not gonna. Because I found near the end of the season, some people give up, and then you just get some 3-0 automatic wins. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes this year.
That's really smart to look at past seasons. I had a couple guys that I loaned out this year, and one of them had been pretty good progressionally, and I was excited about them, and they landed in a bad spot, and they have not progressed. And I don't know if they've just hit their wall or it's because they're not playing. And I'm like, ugh. I think one of my Spark teams is going to get promoted, and I can bring him back onto my team. I'm like, I'm not loaning him out again. I'll loan out other players. I'll make that mistake again. But looking back at past seasons to look at, did they forfeit at the end of the year? How did they finish? Exactly. That's really smart.
Yeah.
And then knowing, if you know a manager and you can trust them off the bat, then that's the way to go for sure.
Exactly.
Sometimes you got to just loan guys out to strangers.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, you know, it's also near the end of season 2, you see lots of people just trying to sell. They know they're the cup. They know they're like probably gonna get relegated, and then just trying to sell in the market.
Yeah, that's always really interesting because you can find some good deals.
Yeah.
Or I think if people are trying to get out of a position, sometimes you can find the right fits. Something I was thinking about is pace is so important, and if there are lower pace defenders that have good physical, those are not ideal now, but might be better on the spectrum next year. There might be some deals there. It was something I was thinking about. I've got a ton like Spark into Ice center backs, but I'm short on the higher levels, and I've got a CDM center back with 42 pace, but he's got good defending and good physical.
Yeah.
And he's one of my better players. He's on the Stone team, but he doesn't fit great into the engine. And he's 20.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, do I sell and take the age premium because he's not great in the engine, or do I wait because maybe next year in the engine he's going to be much more valuable, and then I'm going to be kicking myself? So all fun questions that I think.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of strategy, and that's the fun thing. You think everyone has their own plan. It definitely uses a lot of strategy in your way you manage things.
It's one of the reasons I love talking to different managers, is stealing their great ideas and trying to challenge myself and how I go about things and all that stuff. Overall, do you feel like this season has been successful for you? Do you think going to the one formation and trying to stretch has been overall successful? Or
I was looking at my teams right now, and I looked at my cup losses. Besides the Hague, obviously I got destroyed, but my other 4 losses that they went to the round of 16, I all had better stats, better shots, more shots, better possession. I just lost by 1 goal. It happens. And then my league games, I think I could get a chance for promotion in a couple of them. And I've won, actually bronze. Pioneers team have been playing better lately, so I'm kind of somewhat getting, check Pioneers.
You said for bronze?
Yeah. So I was like below. I've been having a couple draws and then 2 draws there and one loss. Oh no, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. So I'm 20 points. So it's tight. It's tight division right there.
Yeah,
very
the
close.
middle of the division.
Yeah. 1 win is from 7th to 4th, right? So
that's huge. A couple more left. Do you feel like you have the players? If you get moved up into silver, do you feel like you'll be able to transition well?
No. I'm not. I wasn't. This team I wasn't going for silver because I know my highest player is like the 80. My goalie, I think, which is 85. Yeah, and the rest is like 83 there. Only other concern is my Graz Lions. That one they got promoted last season. And it could get relegated now, but so I need a big win today. Yeah, right there. And all my other teams are top 6, I think. So some 16 points. So it's gonna be hard. I need to.
Well, good results. Have you looked at your? You have a strong team for Ice.
But I think I don't know what's happening for this league. I just can't get a win.
Have you looked at your schedule for the remainder of the season? Do you feel like you have a...
Yeah, I think I could do it. I think I have a chance. Yeah, I still have to play the next 3 bottom player teams there. So the CF and MCE and Montreal Wizards. So
hopefully, you've got a very favorable schedule.
Yeah. Hopefully I get the win today. I don't know how I'm going to beat Joe's at Academy there, but hopefully they get lucky there.
the power creep has been. You're right there with him.
Yeah, it's right
He's a
there.
little
Just
stronger.
having all my games have been, close. Like I said, except for the last game, 5-0. I don't know what happened there. That's just one of those like 1 in 50 games. Like I just got
Yeah,
annihilated. To go back one more. Yeah, I haven't had that. Like all my games have been close, except for this game. I don't know what happened. It's a three. See, it's a 4-3-3. Like 4-3-3 just like crushes. I don't know why.
false nine.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. They just dominate.
Yeah,
But
it's yeah. The this formation, the CDM formation into the 4-2-2 seems to be pretty successful.
mm,
And it's interesting. You have aspirations to be able to run multiple formations next year?
that's a good question. Like the reason I separate this season was just to get more MFL and to get better training. And honestly, I think I got like 80,000 or just below 80,000 last season. And I think on right now it shows me another like 80,000 maybe. So it's pretty
Okay.
much similar, even though I loaned my players out. And I guess because I had 2 cup wins too actually last season, so maybe that's why
Yeah.
I had it higher. And the training hasn't been amazing this season. Maybe I go back and have the optionality of having at least two formations. Or I mean, actually three, because my other those LW and left wing and they're like LM and RM as well. So I could do the 1-4-5 or 2-1-2. I can do many different formations once I bring my other guys I loaned out back.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You mentioned progression. I'm team tinfoil hat. I think that it's been um, tapered down just a little bit.
Yeah.
That's my tinfoil opinion, but I have also wondered if it has to do with when players were minted and their how long their life was, and
Hmm.
maybe just such a large percentage of players have had their prime age already. And now as we're shrinking back, we'll
Yeah.
create a new normal. But
Yeah, it makes
I
sense.
don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
it's gonna be interesting when there's a lot of retirements. Like how many? Well, I mean, I know the team probably manages that to make sure there's enough like ultimates, for example. But it'll be interesting once more
Yeah.
retirements come out.
Also, where some of that opinion is coming from for me. So pretty small gallery on my side, but I had my best progressors. This guy's +3. He's two
Yeah,
years old. And
yeah.
then this guy's in dev jail, but he's 2 years
Oh,
old.
yeah. You got some good young. You got a lot of young people. Yeah,
Savchek, 2 years
yeah,
old. So I've
yeah,
had decent progression for my younger players.
yeah.
2 years old, and then the counterpoint to that is if I look at like overall top down,
Hmm.
um, he's a couple of years old.
Right.
He's on a +1, but he's been a little bit more flat. And
Yeah.
then a couple of my other older players, like I don't think he's grown this year.
Right. Oh,
Several
yeah.
years
That's
old.
pretty. Yeah. That's
So
a tier jail there for 4 seasons,
yeah,
4.5 seasons or so.
for life, jail for life.
Yeah.
So I do kind of wonder like some of these older players if they're not just past their prime, past their progression prime, and it's where it's supposed to be. And then because of the management, we just have too many players that are past their prime, whereas that will
Right.
catch back up. Because
Yeah.
I've had some success with my newer minted players. So we'll see. It's been a fun topic of conversation. We'll have to all pay attention. Maybe we'll see some more some explosive young players. But
Mm. I actually
yeah,
bought a couple older players, like 26 to 29, and see what happens.
yeah. I
If there's
bought them like going into the season or just now.
yeah, just like going this season and just now as well, just
Okay.
to see. I mean, they minted at like maybe 24 years old. Progression could be okay, so I just want to see what happens.
I had a center back that I bought first year I got promoted to Stone, and I think he was 28 and had just been minted.
Oh, yeah,
And I was like, hey, he's brand new. He's gonna get at least like 6 seasons, and he hasn't gone up because he's brand new. I'm like, surely he'll be better than average on the curve, right? And so I thought I was getting a really good deal. I did the math, and I'm like, yeah,
mm,
like if he goes to mid age or the median age for retirement, I get a good deal. If he goes past that, I get a really good deal. And it was like the next season at 29, he announced his 3-year retirement. I'm like, he got minted at 28 and announced his retirement at 30
oh,
or 32 is his last year.
that's
Um,
yeah, that's
so I
hard.
gambled
Yeah,
and lost.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, good to know. Hopefully, I did. There was one player that I did get the retirement badge, but I didn't pay too much for him. He's just like a
Have
6'7"
you
guy.
have you checked the mint number to see if they're below the initial mark?
Oh, I don't remember. I didn't really look at that.
It always
You
impacts my decision when
think
buying on the
so?
market, and I don't
Well,
know if it should. But if I'm looking at like two players,
yeah,
if I can get below that mint threshold, I'm like, should be 2 more years, 2 more years for
yeah,
free. But I don't know. Maybe I should be prioritizing other things like passing stats instead of
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
mint
I didn't
threshold.
actually look at that. I haven't looked at that. I mean, I don't buy players just for progression. I do if I need them, and
Yeah,
if I look like they're cheap, good stats, and I'll get it
yeah. Which
regardless of.
which stats do you feel like you're valuing over others?
Right now, I like dribbling. What? Because I notice when I do a search, a lot of players, like a lot of even 45 OVR players, they have like high pace. Like there's so many players that have high pace. So maybe that's why the team. I mean, not the team, but maybe the engine, is good with pace. But there's not as many for dribbling that have high dribbling. So I've been trying to get players that have high dribbling, throw them on, throw high dribbling, and they do. When I watch the games, they do well. They dribble well, and that's the
The
main one.
dribbling tactic is rewarding for sure. You see
Yeah.
the dribblers, the high dribblers dribble past people.
Like, yeah, like
Um,
three guys on them.
yeah, that drives me insane.
Yeah,
I'm watching and I'm like, tackle him, tackle
yeah,
him,
exactly.
tackle him.
That's one thing I
Um,
noticed. Like you have four guys, four defenders on the one player. Like I'm sure someone's gonna, and he gets the goal. So it's just
yeah,
odd. I mean,
cuts through all of them, scores, and
yeah,
you're like, this is so
exactly.
stupid.
Yeah,
But yeah, to your point, when they can get into the position, the dribbling is it's a very strong tactic to have. And I think still, and I fall into this category, still so many people are prioritizing that pass. But there's another way. You can run controlled, get into that
yeah,
spot,
that's
and then
true.
dribble into the goal with
Yeah,
controlled and good
yeah,
dribbling. Fun to see
exactly.
different tactics paying off this year.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I do controlled. Little have more possession and give them a little less opportunity to get goals, and then I could take a little more risks on the passes.
Yeah, yeah, it's paid off. I love it. I love it when the tactics support each other and complement and good stuff. Cool. I know we both have cut times, so
Yeah,
anything else that you want to kind of share or shout out?
just I mean, just what I think we talked about before. Just that it's not an investment. It's for fun. You could buy a team right now for $45. I think is the lowest Flint, and if you get top six, it's still one common pack, right? So
Yeah,
every what is it? I think is it however long the season is, times that you could save them up for limited packs, and it's as long as the game's still live, you could get 0% loans and have your own agency slowly. I mean, that's the thing. People maybe you want to rush, but if you do things slowly, it works well.
yeah. And they're Spark. They're not even Flint. Four teams out
Yeah,
there for
yeah,
$45.
yeah. Oh yeah, okay,
So
well, yeah, yeah,
I say this. I bet if I refresh, trust the process will have already bought three of them. So, but yeah, thank you so much.
yeah.
Great chat.
Appreciate
We'll
it.
chat soon.
Yeah, great. Thanks. Take care.